Yes. Street got canceled. Yes, and she's going to bring it at 6. That's fine.
All right, it's 6 o'clock. If we can go ahead and start this meeting. Let's start and stand with the pledge of allegiance. And we'll have a roll call. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, before we start, will all the council members remember to speak into the microphone and get up close. So if we can have a roll call to establish quorum, please, ma'am.
Melissa Green. Here. Terry McClung.
I'm here.
Schneider.
Here.
Ron Thomas.
Here.
Susan Harmon. Here. Terry Meyer.
Yes, here. All right. This is a presentation for the special meeting for a presentation for 6 weeks of fun and safe open streets. And I think first off, we'll just go ahead and have the presentation. I'm not sure who's going to do the presentation. Jackie. All right, Jackie's here also. All right.
Okay, 12 feet from everyone, I can be able to take this mask before the Arkansas Department of Health inside. My name is Ken Butler. I'm the director of operations for the Great Passion Way. Born here in Green Springs, grew up in Berryville, moved back to Green Springs, and hope to live a long, long time here in Green Springs. And let me start this off by saying is that this has been a very difficult time for everyone. We are all in this together. The purpose of this presentation is not to say, hey, everybody's just going to come in and we're going to have real coronavirus party. That is not the purpose of what we're presenting today. During our time of meeting, we actually met first on Zoom, and we've only met via Zoom during this time. We met at around April 15th, which is the most intense part of the pandemic. And from that initial day, our biggest hope was that by maybe July 3rd or 4th, that things would be calming down a little bit. With that said, it doesn't look like they're calming down enough for us to, be able to wholeheartedly say, hey, the 6 weeks of fun, our plan is for it to begin on July 3rd. That is not what we're here to talk about. Now, initially, it was 6 weeks of summer, but as the time has passed, it's become this 6 weeks would work regardless of when we were able to start. Now, we will get into July 3rd with just one item, and that's about it. But tonight, we want you to know that the entire team that's been working on this plan has thought through a lot of these different protocols. For the Passion Play to be open, for example, we had to require everyone to wear a face covering in the cast. We are screening 150 staff people every single day for every single performance. They're actually wearing the face covering while they are on the stage as well. So I fully understand the challenges that face with any program when you're inviting the general public. And our goal is to keep people safe. One of the things that we really looked at is how can we make tourism safe for the people who come here? What are the ideas, the thoughts that we could get together that could make Eureka Springs a safer environment, more spread out, something that people could say, well, they're wide open, literally, that there's space for people to be. And that was the whole idea of the Wide Open Work Group. But Jackie's going to tell us a little bit about how we got there.
Ron. I have to have some signal here. Ron, next slide.
Okay, so we actually started the steering committee in March, and if you remember, at that time, there were still festivals planned, and they were slowly closing. And then I believe that the timeline is that restaurants closed, bars closed, lodging closed, and then retail closed. Not all retail, but a lot of retail closed. So this group is a broad consortium of people. And the first thing that they decided was to have a community brainstorm meeting. And we've never done anything like that before. We said anyone who wants to go on Zoom and give us their ideas for this, come on. So 85 people participated, including Richard Davies, who was the past Parks and Tourism chair. Butch was on the call. It was moderated by Kyle Cummins from KUAF. We had Bob Ballinger, Love Him, Don't Love Him, he was on the call. There were a lot of invested people outside and inside. I'd say about 6 people from the state, and everyone else was from the city itself. And they gave their ideas. From those ideas, a focus group was created. So of the 85 people that participated, 41 people were asked to be part of a focus group. Of the 41, 19 of those said yes. So 19 people plus the steering committee took the initial brain dump of 7 pages and put that into some format, put that into some sense of what was doable or what was possible or what even made sense for us as a community. Sorry, I didn't really get this on here. So that group worked, they had 3 meetings and they filtered through those initial ideas. Then it went back to the steering committee, which is a group of 9 of us, and those people, what we did was put it into an implementation plan. So I want to be clear about this. These aren't our ideas. I'm presenting presenting back to you with Kent the community's ideas, okay? I think that gets lost because people think, oh, it's this small group. It isn't. These weren't our ideas. These were the community's ideas. Then we had said we would present to City Council, which is where you find us tonight. And then we will have another open Zoom meeting, a large community one that everyone will be invited to ask more questions and continue to be involved. So the steering committee is Jamie Burnett with T-Rex, Tracy Johnson, who's the event coordinator for the CAPC, Debbie Davis, who owns Sweets and Flats, myself with Main Street, Kent at the Catch and Play, Jack with the 2 hotels, Gina, the interim CAPC director, and then Rick Rojek with Hearthstone Inn.
So with all of those people, and those are the steering committee, the people who have said, okay, of all of these, how many people have seen that in any of the community brainstorm session? I mean, it was a vast, anybody see the community brainstorm session ideas? It was a vast amount of information, a lot to really digest. And so what we tried to do is what's actually realistic in our current time frame? What can we do that would make the most sense? And so we engaged the state, Monty McNulty, Arkansas Hospitality Association. She said, you're setting an example and doing what every city needs to do to get going. And what she was meaning by that is, what are we going to change with what we're doing? How are we going to make people feel safe? And then Stacy Hurst, who's the cabinet secretary overseeing tourism, as well as parks and a lot of other things. Eureka Springs, with its abundant natural beauty and unique historic architecture, is a jewel in the crown of Arkansas's tourism industry. So the people that know most about what the state is doing recognize Eureka Springs' place, and that's our goal, is to keep Eureka Springs as prominent within the state of Arkansas, to live and to visit. And we've been able to work with a lot of different types of people, including the interim director for the CAPC. You can see her quote, everybody had a voice in this, that we wanted to make sure we were getting participation of people, understanding what the city is already doing, understanding what we can do. And she had this to say, and you can read it in your packet. And if you need a packet, how many of you do not have a packet? Just by show of hands. If you'd like to get a packet, feel free. I'm not offended to come up in the presentation, and you can grab that for the full quotes and comments and all things like that. Now, the common themes that came through the community brainstorm, and these were the ideas that really existed, and when we were talking is, and Ron, you can go to the next slide, is how can we do open safely and open spaces with the safety protocols in place?
Start by wearing a mask.
And right, I know a lot of people are doing it, but I am 12 feet away from everyone. Create a safe outdoor and dining environment. And then develop smaller, impactful entertainment throughout downtown. And then make a statement that we were open with fireworks, like we had on last year's 4th of July. And then for Spring Street, this was an idea that really came from that 85 community person brainstorm, is to allow for safe walking, to control the traffic flow on Spring Street. We'll go through the specific idea of how to do that, as well as restarting the entertainment district. But there are really 3 core elements of this program. Number 1 is fireworks, and you can go to the next slide. 3 core elements, again, number 1 is fireworks. Our belief is that these fireworks are a great way to show people that we are open. It's a great activity, but it's also a very distant activity where you need to keep your space from the fireworks and from each other. There are multiple vantage points for people to observe it. So it's not combining everyone into one small space, but rather using the entirety of Eureka Springs so that everyone can space out and maintain the appropriate social distance. And then, it does announce that we are open as a primary travel destination. And part of that was to say, well, what would 6 weeks of programming cost? And we'll get into the cost of the program later in the presentation. But our first point is fireworks on Friday nights for 6 weeks. And then Jackie's going to cover our second point.
So this is the open safe streets. I should be clear that people wanted this above anything else in the community brainstorm meeting. They wanted the ability to eat outside. They wanted the ability to walk downtown safely with more space. I have a unique position that I have measured the sidewalks the width of the sidewalks, and they vary. And some of the sidewalks downstream are particularly narrow. And therefore, getting people to move outside of that and have a little bit more walking space is what the group really wanted. So the idea is that Friday through Sunday, for 6 weeks, we'd like to do a study, a pilot program of a concept of a true arts and entertainment corridor. One-way traffic in the open, safe streets area. In the graphic that you're going to see, we have it coming up, but we think it would make more sense to go downstream. And what we're talking is from mountain to center. We want to provide signage, staffing, design elements to allow for easy understanding of where to walk. We want to remove the parking on Spring Street, from center to mountain, to allow for a safe walking corridor during the day and dining and props to the music during the night, so that people can go to a restaurant, but then enjoy their dinner outside if possible. We know that the restaurant internally have been expanded, but some people might feel more uncomfortable with that still, and we want to give them the option to be able to eat outside. Programming could include sidewalk sales, gallery strolls, music, arts, demonstrations, displays, etc. We'd like to reinstate the entertainment district within these proposed boundaries. This is in part because we want people to dine outside. So we want them to be able to have that full experience of dining as they would inside the restaurant. And then we'd like to gather data during the pilot program to provide informed decision making. We make a lot of decisions based on gut instinct or what we might see on the sidewalk. And we think that we could actually do this with data gathering instead. We could see during the 6-week period, during those 3 days, how shops do. We could see how sales do. We could see how restaurants do. We could actually create an informed decision if this is something we wanted to continue. The rendering, we can go to the next. I know the poor guy in the middle is going to get run over by the trolley. Hannah Ratzlaff, who is the architect for Main Street, Arkansas, graciously did this for us. This is to give you some idea of what is possible. It's not just closing the streets. It's about having an open air walkway that feels inviting and is part of the programming. It's a management program. We know that there are people in our community that would like it to all just be closed and that nobody would come. But they're here, and we need a crowd management program. And we think this element of this is a crowd management program. This gets people to walk in a safer way. It gets people to eat and dine in a safer way.
And the third part of this program is the 6 weeks of programming, which is really based around the things that are already happening in Eureka Springs, punctuated by events. And so what you see there is that we already have, if you look in the back of your packet, you'll see each week, and it doesn't have dates on all of them. The very first one, if you'll see, has it completely laid out, where this would be the 4th of July or whenever we're able to execute this program. And you'll see there that the 6 weeks of fun programming elements of that are listed at the top, including an outdoor movie at the community center, live music in Basin Spring Park, open safe streets, DJ and Bubbles in Basin Spring Park, fireworks on Friday night, of course, the grand illumination opening ceremony for the downtown, and then old time fun in Basin Spring Park and exclusive tours of Turpentine Creek. That's another special that's running on Tuesdays currently. And then below that, you see all of the different things in Eureka Springs that are happening on an everyday basis already, or that are already scheduled to happen in July. And so each of those weeks is themed in that manner. So again, the top are more the special events that happen. The bottom part of that are the attractions that are already in existence so that everyone has the schedule of what's already happening in the months of July, August, and September. And you can see each week it has a different theme. You can go through it on the inside the program, but it's celebrating the outdoors. There are 6 miles of mountain bike trails that will open and connect the downtown to the Passion Play trail system. They're waiting to see what all happens in this next few weeks in order to determine a date for that. The Grand Illumination, you have a Super Soaker Weekend, you see 40th anniversary of Thorn Crown Chapel, and then even a masquerade, filming a Wear Your Mask video celebration, to get more adoption into that, of the, the best practice of wearing your face covering when you cannot maintain 6 feet spacing. And then if you go to the next slide on that. So safety protocols are something that I have become extremely attuned to since the Passion Play had to submit a plan that involved almost every single element of state regulation. Since we have a restaurant, an outdoor theater, we have gift shop out on the property, and so we just have a lot to go through to be able to make sure that things are safe and laid out, that they're, that the handrails are sanitized before the performance, during the performance. There's an amazing amount of work that has to happen for any event to happen at this day and time. For example, the phone number that you wrote down, that's part of state regulation for us to provide that. At the Passion Play, we go a step further and record specifically where people are sitting within the theater. So for example, according to state regulation, a large indoor venue like this, each seat that was used would need to be sanitized. So I would encourage you to leave your seat down if you sat in it, so that can meet that criteria within the state of Arkansas. So these are different ideas that the state has developed. These are best practices. These are protocols that we need to follow. And these guidelines will be consistent, and then we will also submit them to the Arkansas Department of Health as well for approval. So prior to requesting an event permit, if any would be required with the city as well.
I should say that we're working with Arkansas Festivals and events for that. That's the state organization. They are providing the guidance on writing the protocols for any kind of event. So right now, each thing that's listed here has its own safety protocol.
So, for example, if you go through Basin Spring Park, staff entrances with one-way in and out, sanitation station, quartered area with attendance caps managed by a safety patrol for fireworks, signage, and roped-off areas, space and mask requirements as well, public bathroom maintenance, everyday activities that to be included, an included attraction, you must agree to provide and enforce the protocols as outlined by the state. For the outdoor movies, space seating, and any parade, limited viewing areas, space parade route enforced, no candy toss. I mean, these are things that are a part of my plan and will be for quite some time. The cost of the program, the cost, and you can go to the next slide even, Ron. As outlined, for the fireworks, 6 weeks of fireworks, depending on the size of the show, would cost anywhere between $30,000 and $42,000. The open, safe streets and 6 weeks of fun programming and to address the programming protocols, we've outlined a budget of $130,000. For advertising and public relations, we've pegged out $175,000 of that. The current pledges, as they stand now, will be for the Grand Illumination $5,000, for a community mural $5,000, for the fireworks we currently have $7,000 in pledges, and for the advertising we have $24,000 in pledges for that program.
So to be clear, we have been going outside of the city to get this money. We're asking other people to invest in us, other organizations, other businesses, and that's where that money is coming from. Some of that money is coming from people who were able to get the PPP grant from the state and use that money for marketing. So some of that advertising, other businesses locally are allocating portions of the funding that they got from the state of Arkansas into this program.
Okay, and then you can go to the next slide.
So one of the things that that has been so great, which which if you're not in it every day doing this, it might not seem like a big deal. But we have successfully created the opportunity to have a shared calendar on eurekasprings.org for every attraction that is participating in the 6 weeks of fun and anything else that's happening within that 6 weeks of programming. As it is now, the CAPC does not do that. And so it's a huge win. It's something that we have wanted for a long time, and it's what our visitors want. We're also doing cooperative advertising, so that's an example of what the ad looks like. And so if a business in town donates or gives money to this program, their money goes on that as a sponsor. We also are distributing it through all of our partner media. We successfully got Tom Rask, and I don't know if you know him, but it's eurekasprings.com, to say that he would link to this calendar. And I have worked with him for a long time, and I've never got him to agree to something like that. So it's a win. It doesn't seem like a win, but it's a win. And then Eureka Springs Online, the Chamber and Main Street will also share it. And then all websites get leads, and then we will share those leads with the organizations that are participating. So lead sharing is also something that's a win.
So we're working together on this promotion, and Ron, you can go to the next slide. The successes that we already have from just doing the process of developing a plan, how to reopen. State leaders have been engaged in the entire process. They know that we're thinking about how we can make it safe for Eureka Springs, both who live and both who visit. Listen to our community with the initial brainstorming session of 85 people on that call, and collectors for their ideas and the customers for their needs. We've developed a shared calendar of events for the 6 weeks of programming, which is again in the back of your packet that you have. Sharing leads across organization, working together to know who is coming, the cooperative advertising, and then reinforce the work of established organizations and their support networks. We all need each other. We need each other to work together. We need the city council, the chamber, the CAPC, local business leaders to all work together and be on the same page with everything that's going on and what we're doing. And then in conclusion, why should you support these efforts? Because tourism is the economic engine. It's the driver for the city of Eureka Springs, and supporting these efforts will allow us for tax revenue to underwrite services of the city of Eureka Springs, the CAPC, parks, police, and fire. We're in this together, and we need to do everything we can to keep each other safe and to do it in safe ways. We think these 3 points of fireworks, open streets, and 6 weeks of programming that focuses on the outdoors and the things that we already have to do here that are meeting the safety regulations as set by the Arkansas Department of Health are good things to do and feature and promote during this time. Now, this is the next steps from City Council. So if you remember the beginning of the presentation, we said in March and April, hey, the earliest that this would ever start is in July. We pegged that date as kind of the goal way back when. Circumstances on the grounds, people are very nervous about what's happening now. But if we were to do the fireworks show, which is again on July 3rd, if you remember it last year that they did it, we would need to get the permitting completed and signed off by police and the fire chief, and then it would go to the state for final permitting. We would need to get that done like tomorrow. So if the city council is open to that, we would like to pursue that. We do have the funding for the first show. With that $7,000 pledge, we believe that given the green light, we'll be able to do that. And so we would need that if we were to start those fireworks on July 3rd. Me personally, I have worn my face covering. I'm again 12 feet away from every one of you, so I can safely talk and not be worried about it. I attended a graduation for my niece, and I was one of 3 out of 800 individuals in Missouri to have a face covering. And fireworks are a great thing to keep people apart. It allows you to set it up in multiple spaces, multiple vantage points to make sure that people are managing their social distance properly. And that is part of the goal, that we want to do that, is to help people maintain their distance, giving them things to do that it's natural of maintaining distance, but we are also policing it and making sure that people, set up the viewing areas so that they can maintain their distance and do so safely. And then the final thing is that a bi-monthly evaluation by the mayor's office and representatives of the council to begin our Open Streets demo project and to begin the 6 weeks of fun programming.
Right, so when we set this meeting, the numbers in Arkansas weren't spiking, okay? So remember, we've been working on this for months. And the meeting's set, and we can't actually reel it back once the meeting is set. So here we are. And given the new information, we're all watching it, right? We're all watching what's happening. So what we would like to ask the council is to have touch points bi-monthly where we say, are we ready? Can we start? Are we ready? Can we start? Too often things just disappear, and so much work has been put into this, and thoughtfulness, just really, really thoughtful planning. It might not all go, there might be pieces that people feel uncomfortable with that we will extrapolate out, but we want to continue to have this conversation with both the mayor's office and the city council. If you guys are okay.
Thank you,
Probably
sir.
thought we wanted more. And I think that's it. That concludes it.
Thank you very much.
Before we go into public comments, I want to know if the council has any questions or comments. We can get started first. Vicki?
Okay, questions of them?
Yes.
Okay, we got a bunch here. First of all, Ken, you keep talking about following.
Now, be sure to speak into the microphone, please.
You keep talking about following protocol and stuff, and you're not. The mayor and the council agreed when we started meeting here, masks 100% of the time. 12 feet doesn't cut it. Masks, temperature taking, so on and so forth, for both of you, masks. Just because you're 12 feet, don't stand there, Jackie, put your mask on. This is what the mayor and the council has agreed. In here, put your mask on. Something you guys may not be aware of or have thought through, but most residents do not have Zoom, so they can't participate in your Zoom meetings.
It's free. Zoom is free. Are you saying they don't have a phone or a computer?
A lot of the older people wouldn't have a clue. I had no clue, and I've got a degree in computers. A lot of people don't know how to do it, don't want to get it, have no idea that they can get it. Why would they?
Well, that's good feedback. Main Street can provide training and information.
Well, this is one of those things.
That's great. We're happy to provide training.
Okay, let's just go ahead with your question.
Okay, where do you plan on shooting fireworks off from?
It's I don't, okay, there we go. Sorry, my mask is pretty thick, so I'll try to speak loud.
I know, it's hard.
Please forgive me, I was not aware of that it would be required as well of me, or I wouldn't have warned it. So I understand your comment now. I'm a play by the rules type of guy. So please forgive me.
Yeah, well, I got in trouble for lowering mine to talk last night.
But being more than 12 feet away, the risk for transmission is extremely low, so I hope that you accept my apology.
You put it on, that's good.
On the Zoom comment is there's actually a call-in number too. So you can call in a number, and that's on the email that's in the invitation. That is in the email that is sent out for the Zoom call. You just click on the number, and it will allow you to come into the call.
But we'll do training.
Well, I didn't even know about your Zoom call back in the day. I'm a councilman.
All right.
Anyway, so where do you plan on shooting the fireworks off
Yes,
from?
the same location as it was shot before at Marble Plains.
And wasn't there a whole lot of people showing up there?
I'm not familiar with that. We've been in.
No.
No,
I thought I
yeah,
heard a bunch of
no.
people like right above it or something.
No.
I mean, I'm asking.
No.
Okay. Because that was the concern, was were they gonna get there or not? Why do you want to do fireworks every Friday? Or every week, whatever?
Well, it's extremely magical. I had my first time at Disney World in January, and I don't know how everybody feels about it. It was truly a magical experience, and everybody stayed for that presentation at the evening. And again, it's a great attraction to be able to keep people apart, where you can enjoy that from virtually anywhere you're staying in Eureka Springs, so that people do not have to be together in order to attend an event, if you will, in Eureka Springs. And that's the primary reason, is that we've seen the Friday daytime numbers, for instance, the price of the Ozarks are lacking. And of course, travel is lacking, period. That's not the total reason that it was picked on Friday night, but we have had better travel on Saturdays in recent days. And we thought that Friday night travel would help people to go ahead and come. Another reason to come to Eureka.
Okay, as far as closing down Spring Street to parking, where are the people who you plan on bringing to town, where are they gonna park?
We're talking about the parking that is from Center to Mountain. Well,
Going up Spring, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And that would be from Friday through Sunday.
Friday through Sunday. The reason for implementation, sort of how you do a project, you can't shut it down and open it up and shut it down and open it up. Once it has been shut, it needs to be shut for that 3-day period, so that it's logistics.
Rather than put signs up and down.
Exactly, it's just about logistics, it's also about learning. When people see things repeatedly, they get more comfortable with it. If we take it up and take it down, people will get confused.
And one of the other things is that our travel over the weekend is larger, and having more space to move about. Our streets are just, the sidewalks are too narrow in order for people to keep their distance. And so across those 3 days, when we have most of the visitors coming, if we open that up, there'll be a greater chance for them to have more room to social distance.
Okay, now, the one biggest thing in my last comment for now, you're talking entertainment district, so on and so forth. Has nobody bothered to pay attention to the people's reaction when this council passed this thing before? The people stated emphatically, you will not do an entertainment district without our vote. I personally have warned council, talk to the people, let them make a decision, it's their town.
So
The day it was passed, the very next day, they walked to petition, it's on hold.
I
We tried to do it
agree,
temporarily.
but these are unprecedented times, and I feel to support our restaurants, it's imperative that we do this. I also think of the safety of my bar workers downtown, and I would prefer people were out on the street than crowded in a bar. So yes, I think what you did in February or January or whenever that was one thing, but we live in a whole different world now. And I think we need to think about that as we're thinking about why we're building that program. We also believe that it's important to have a test study, a real test study with real data. And that's part of it. If we leave out the entertainment district, which we could, because that would be your decision, we won't get the same amount of data as we would if it were in it.
But the people have spoken emphatically.
Times change, people change their minds.
Yeah, you're risking their lives again, that's what they're saying. I'm done with mine for now.
Mr. Green?
Ken or Jackie, when we had the fireworks last year, and correct me, anybody, if I'm wrong, what I was told by the people that came, the only place to see them was downtown or at the Crescent.
Not true. So we had spotters throughout town. It's a good question. So when we did the fireworks last year, we put spotters throughout town to see where you could see them. You can see them at the Passion Play. You can see them at Pine Mountain Village. You can see them. You can see them at the train station depot parking lot. You can see them at the Crescent. So it's really our whole area that you can see them.
Well, I was told that you couldn't see them at the Passion Play. Bob, where were you?
I was at the Passion Play, and you could see them from the Passion Play.
Where were you at?
I was at the closed Exxon station.
Okay.
You could not see.
Where were you?
At the closed Exxon station, you could not see.
So even from the pass and play parking lot area and grass areas out there, you can see those as well. Of course, we have a play that goes on during that time as well. Last year, we did an intermission, which is how I got to watch the fireworks because of the intermission.
But she asked me where I was. Oh,
Yeah.
And I couldn't see her.
Right,
Well,
what,
one place you can't see them is Lake Leatherwood. It's too far out.
well, I live on top of the mountain and I couldn't see them, but I'm not gonna, debate with you. I'm just asking.
Yeah, we just, all I can say is put spotters out.
And there was also an app that showed where they would go up during time. I wasn't involved with the fireworks last year. I'm only speaking as my experience. That you could see where in town that you might be able to see them from the. I think it's Springs 360 now.
Okay, well, one of the things, and again, this is a question. With the fireworks, usually it's not our guests that are here for them. They come from out of town because they see it. And you're right, it's gonna bring people in, but to me, it's probably gonna be people that aren't gonna stay, they're not gonna shop, they're not gonna, eat in our restaurants. So to me, that even though I was against them last year, I'm not that much against them anymore. I just don't know if I think that's a great idea.
Well,
Just for the fact, let me finish, that you are gonna be having crowds, you're gonna have a lot of young people, and it seems to me from the news and stuff, it's the young people really are the ones that don't seem to care like we care. Just my opinion, and I'll wait and speak later.
Mr. Thomas, you have a question?
I have just a couple of clarifications.
Speak into the microphone.
On my, you want me to say it out? If you close the spring from center up to how many restaurants are in that section?
Well, it's not necessarily that the restaurant is in the section, although there are restaurants within the section, and there's restaurants opening in the section. I'm assuming that I could eat at Grotto and I could take my food out there, is my thought. Like, if there were to go at Grotto, I could take it to the street on Spring. I'm assuming I could do that. I'm assuming that I could do that from the balcony at the basin. The new charcuterie restaurant that's opening on Spring, I'm assuming I could do it there. Or the Creole restaurant that's opening on Center, I'm assuming I could get there. I'm assuming I could eat ice cream, right? So,
I was a bit confused because you kept talking about people being able to sit in front of the restaurant and have a line with their dinner. Now you're talking about people coming in from Spring Street, bringing their own food. Okay, no.
yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That's why the entertainment district part of it is part of it, really, right? Because when you have dinner, some of you have wine with them. I don't, but some people do. I heard.
The other thing I want to say was, I couldn't see fireworks at the station last year, so I jumped in my car and I drove downtown. And I came down Climber Hill as the fireworks were going off. It was what I call a Norman Rockwell scene. People were just out on the street watching the fireworks, and the fireworks were going off over the city. It was a beautiful thing. But you're saying you're going to maintain protocols. Well, you're telling me
in certain areas, like Basin Spring Park, for instance.
right. Okay. And President Hotel and everywhere in town that you can see the fireworks, you're going to have somebody there maintaining protocol.
In the businesses, if they're going to have them in areas, they'll need to maintain the social distancing in those.
So the individual businesses will be responsible for that. Is that correct?
Some of that will be fleshed out as if we were to get the permit finalized with the police and fire.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a plan that would all have to go through the Arkansas Health Department, so.
Ms. Harmon, you had a question? No, I'm sorry, okay. Here.
I don't think the dining in the street is going to work if you don't have the entertainment district. And, if I'm drinking in the street, I'm not going to have a mask on. And if I've had a couple of drinks, I'm gonna be talking pretty loud. I've been known to do that. And I'm gonna be spraying upon the people that are walking by me on the sidewalk. No, this is not a good idea at this time. You know, we've got a serious, for the first time, Carroll County has a serious growth rate in incidents of COVID-19. And we have no idea where that's going to peak. So there's no reason to even discuss this right
And I'll let Jackie address more of the entertainment district type stuff, but my personal opinion is for the safe open streets, if that's the only thing that's preventing you, then let the committee know, let this work group know that that's what is preventing it. And I think that if that's the only thing preventing it, there's workability.
Yeah, working with this group, you know, you have 85 people give ideas, you have 20 people filter those ideas, and then you have like 9 really opinionated people try to make a plan out of those ideas. So compromise is not in the way. So yes, this is a conversation, Harry. This isn't a yes or no. This is a conversation. This is us coming to where we are today and saying, this is what we have, and is any of this workable, or are pieces of it not, and let's work through it instead of just throwing it all out. I have heard from downtown businesses that having space to walk on Spring is important. It's a crowd management and a safety concern, and I feel like we should give them that. I'm pretty sure that the mayor's office does want to give them that.
Mr. McBride?
This is a point of reference or just general knowledge. Destin, Florida puts on fireworks every Thursday night as an added treat for the tourists that stay there during the season, every Thursday night of the summer. So, I mean, it's just, they're just fun, you know, people like to ooh and ah with fireworks, and but it is, I can see the safety thing and all that, you know, there may be people on the sidewalks down on Main Street looking over the building, whatever, you know, but you're not gonna be any more crowded than you would be in the daytime. In fact, it'd be less crowded. And they could be, you know, they'll be scattered all over. I know you can see them from Pine Mountain. I was there. So, you know, I think that's a great idea. And as far as the fireworks go, and I don't know if you're ready for a motion or anything, but I would like to make a motion that we do have the fireworks on the 4th of July if we can be the protocol.
And actually, the 3rd, we were saying 4th of July, but it's actually.
Well, the 3rd of July, yes, on the Friday the 3rd. So I guess that was a motion.
And I'm sorry, but we haven't had public comments yet.
Yeah, there's still a motion, and we did have a second.
We did?
Ms. Harmon seconded, I believe.
You guys want to withdraw them until we do public comment? Doesn't matter.
The motion is second. Mr. Thomas?
When we approved fireworks last year, we did it with a resolution. I thought it was a permanent resolution that allowed parks to do fireworks when they wanted to, but city clerk told me tonight that it was a one-shot deal last year.
I don't remember, to be honest with you.
I do.
So if it was a one-shot deal last year, I would guess we would have to do resolution.
It will have to be done a resolution, there still needs to be a motion for us to prepare a resolution.
Right.
And then we're gonna have that at the council meeting.
But that was not the motion, was it?
Well, the motion was to
And
have
fireworks,
fireworks on the 3rd of July.
And I still think we should wait until we finish talking with the people here. This is part of why they came.
well, there'll be another opportunity, I mean, we're gonna have, the it's just a motion, and then we would prepare a resolution, and we can still have public comments later on too, so. It's in the final, done deal.
But we would have to pass it at the next council meeting.
That's correct, especially if it gets done like you like, so.
Mhm.
Any further discussion on that? Ms. Harmon?
On the fireworks or just?
I'm fine. There's been a motion and a second that we do have fireworks on July the 3rd. There's no further discussion. Let's have a roll call.
Ms. Greens,
No,
Mr. McClung,
Yes?
Ms. Snyder,
No,
Mr. Thomas,
I vote yes to prepare the resolution. I'm not voting yes to have fireworks. We can't vote on fireworks. We have to have a
we're
resolution.
voting on fireworks, Bob.
Well, we've got to have a resolution. You're correct. I think it's really a serious resolution.
Bob, are you voting on the motion to have fireworks?
I would like Mr. McClung to clarify what he's wanting.
The procedure, I'm voting that we have fireworks on the 4th of July. The procedure is that we have to have a resolution to that effect, which also has to be voted on again when we have the next meeting.
What are you doing right now, Terry? That's his question.
That's what I just said, Nikki.
No.
Okay, you're
We're
right.
asking
The
for
motion, the
approval to
motion,
do fireworks. That's your thing.
the motion is to have the fireworks on July the 3rd. We'll prepare a resolution for the council to vote on at the next meeting. Mr. Thomas, I think you voted yes for that.
For the resolution, yes.
Okay.
But that's not the motion.
Mr. Thomas voted yes.
That's not the motion.
The motion, we have,
Doesn't matter what procedure is. Procedure doesn't matter.
would you go ahead and take the rest of the vote, please?
I'm going to count Bob says yes, even though it's questionable. Ms. Harmon? Yes. Mr. Meyer?
No,
3-3,
I'll vote yes.
4-3.
Okay, we'll get a resolution prepared and talk to the council for the next meeting. All right. Any other comments or questions from the council before we proceed with public comments?
Mr. Mayor, Mr. Mayor, you've taken an action now. This is a special meeting. To continue on could be a violation.
What?
The sound is not working, Tim. Can you get closer?
You have taken an action. Special meetings allow one action.
That's true.
To continue on at this point could potentially be a violation of the Open Meeting Act.
All right, that takes care of that motion altogether, so that motion is null and void. So we'll have to wait for the next meeting. This is a special meeting to discuss. Now, Mr., you know that's a part of the motion, part of the presentation, Mr. Weaver?
Yes. This was to be a presentation.
All right. Mr. McClung, did you understand that?
If I understand Mr. Weaver, what we just did doesn't count,
That's correct.
then I understand it.
Okay. All right, so that takes care of that. Ms. Harmon?
Yeah, I just have a couple comments. I do want to really thank the individuals who have
Closer,
been,
please.
Close to the microphone.
I do want to thank the individuals who were involved in this. Obviously, we know that our businesses have taken a big hit because of this virus. There's been a lot of money that has been lost. Some people have been affected by the virus and others haven't. Certainly our businesses have been. And I do want to support them. I think that they have come up with a plan that may not suit everyone. I think there are elements of the plan that are positive. And this is Eureka Springs. And I never thought I would say that, but I've been here for over 5 years now. I do realize that we're never going to get 100% agreement from everyone in this town. I would like to see that, but I don't think that will ever happen. Be what it is, there will be elements of any plan that some people will like and that some people won't like. But I do appreciate the businesses coming together. I think to have that number of people is a positive for our town. It is encouraging to know that that many people came together and that they were supporting each other during this virus. So with that in mind, we as a city council have many things that we have to balance for this year as well. And when we vote on things, it's not because we don't like one group and we like another group and we don't like certain people. It is because we are trying to do what is best for the town and for everyone. Again, we're not going to make everyone happy, but we do have tourists here and we do need to have a plan as to how, lack of better words, how we corral these people that are here right now, because they're here. And I don't think that they're going to be leaving. So the biggest issue is that our town does thrive and survive on tax money that is generated from our tourists. I don't want to be sitting at this table in December knowing, for whatever reason, that we don't have enough money to pay our bills. It is something that every one of our businesses struggle with on a daily basis because of this virus. I'm not alone. We struggle with it as it is now. We don't know at the end of the year if we'll have enough money. We're hoping that we do, and we pray that we do, but nobody knows. So this is not to pit one person against the other. We're all trying to work through this, and we're all trying to figure out what the best plan is. So I just wanted to say those things, and again, you know, I'm not here to say one group is better than the other or anything like that. But I do think that we should have a plan for safety. I do personally like the idea of having the open streets. And I say that because I do believe that our sidewalks are too small. We need open spaces for people to walk around. Because the tourists are more than likely not leaving, and we need to have a plan. So the additional things that are on the list, I like many of them. There are a few that I have a question about, but again, I'm here to support our businesses in any way that I can, as long as we are following the state's guidelines for safety and health. So again, I just, as an encouragement to our businesses, I understand where you're coming from, and you know, we'll continue to try to make this work so that we all can survive.
Parliamentary inquiry.
Mr. Thomas?
I would like Mr. Wheeler to clarify. I thought he said that when we took a vote, the meeting had to end. And then you just said, well.
Mr. Weaver, does the meeting have to end?
Mayor, are you addressing me?
Yes.
Yes.
Could you repeat it? I only caught part of what you said.
Mr. Thomas said he understood for you to say that because we took a vote that the meeting has to end.
It should end if you have taken an action. If the vote has been recalled and wasn't actually official, then you could probably continue on at this point on the original theme of what the notice said, that this was to be a presentation. But if that vote counted, you really should end the meeting, and if you want to discuss it further, have another meeting at some other future date, because you'd need the 2-hour notice. You couldn't repeat it unless you wanted to go later.
Mr. McClung?
Mr. Weaver, you already said that the vote we took didn't count. I understood that. I even clarified that. So,
All right.
we're still proceeding.
Didn't we vote? Everyone voted, including the mayor, so
But it was.
how do you undo that?
It was an illegal vote. Is that correct, Mr. Weaver?
Well, technically,
You're voting on a motion that wasn't existed, that shouldn't have been existed. Shouldn't have been made.
technically, it probably was a vote, even though it might have been improper at the time.
So how do we withdraw?
We have a lot of people here, Mr. Weaver. I'd like to go ahead and hear the public comments at this point. I think we can go ahead and proceed without any action being taken, without any vote being taken.
I would take no more votes if I were you, at least.
There we go. All right, we'll proceed.
Mr. Mayor, can I?
Mr. McClung?
I would just, well, I'll save my comments till
All right,
the end.
we are with the public comments, and I'd like to go ahead and hear the public comments. Becky, let's do the public comments first, please.
Just so this body knows, the July 3rd, if we aren't able to take action for that, then what we would need is the green light at such a time.
There can be no action taken at this
I
meeting.
understand, but I'm saying, in the future, so for example, the next meeting wouldn't be for July 3rd, it would be for a future date. Because with the fireworks companies, you wouldn't be able to have enough time to get a July 3rd go. I just wanted to make sure, and then.
I can't understand you, I'm sorry.
He's saying if we don't vote tonight, they won't have time to get the fireworks.
Well, I'm sorry, you're not right.
No, I'm not asking for that. I'm just saying that the 6 weeks of fireworks, we're not just scrapping that out and not being able to take a vote tonight. I'd ask that at the future council meeting, you would vote on a resolution of at what time.
I understand.
And then I might also add that, the members of the task force or of the work group, we ask anyone who is, and our understanding is for public comments, that they would be written, and it turns out that there will be public comments on a microphone, but we'd ask those people to watch online and stay at home, so to stay safe. But I understand that we'll be allowing public comments in the microphone, but we have a lot of people who support that. We didn't know that.
We received a lot of emails from people, and your people should. We had no idea what the presentation was going to be. I did not receive this presentation until 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock this afternoon. And there's no way of being able to provide written comments. So public comments is what we're hearing right now because of that lack of information. If the information had been provided earlier, we could have proceeded as normal. But at this time, I'd like to go ahead and hear and have the public comments because I think we do have people here.
Karen Lindblad.
Okay, we're gonna get right up here. I'm absolutely opposed to this plan. It's a very, but semi-clever way of getting around the entertainment district. And the citizens in this city signed a referendum petition that says that there's not supposed to be an entertainment district until voters vote on it in November. And I would say if the council wants to go ahead and approve this thing, I think there's going to be some quite serious consequences. Because no matter what Jackie Weldon thinks, the law is the law, no matter how things change. I'm also opposed to it because it closes down Spring Street one more time. And when they did, Main Street did their little Christmas ditty on Main Street, on Spring Street 2 years ago, 28 retailers signed a petition against the street being closed. 28. And I would say 85 people working on this thing out of a population of 2,000 really does not represent what's going on in Eureka Springs and what the citizens here want, because there are citizens here that don't have businesses. And that's the other part of it. Arkansas is spiking. It's spiking in a way that nobody thought that it would. And as Harry said, we have no idea where this spike is going. We have people coming in from all over the place. And if you think that you're going to get these people to socially distance, or if they think they are, I don't think so. And it's putting this whole community at risk, because I have two friends that have COVID, one in Seattle and one in Texas. They went in and got tested while they had it, the test came back negative. So we don't even know how many cases we have here. So those are my 2 points. You know, we walk a referendum, a legal referendum, and that referendum says no entertainment district until November, till the voters get to vote. And I think if you approve this thing, you're gonna piss off a lot of people in this town, because we worked very hard on that referendum. And closing down Spring Street, why does Spring Street always get closed down? Every time you turn around, somebody wants to close down Spring Street, and it does not increase business. In fact, most businesses had a terrible time during that Christmas ditty that they put on, where they took the parking off at 1 o'clock. And in July, when it's really hot, I'm gonna ask people to walk from parking lots down here, and they're not gonna be socially spaced down here where they're parked. They're gonna be getting out of their cars and, you know, walking all over the place. It's crazy, but you cannot do an entertainment district until the voters vote in November. That's the law. And if we have to, we might think about having to sue the city over this.
I do remember that we did limiting to 3 minutes, so please, the next person.
We're cleaning the mic.
Okay.
The next person will be Laura Jo Smolik.
Oh, I missed off. Well, I tried to break some of the tension by throwing you my flashing winning smile, but you can't see it anyway.
Try again.
But good evening. This really is a great plan to revitalize the downtown area. And I fully recognize that downtown development is what drives the city. People coming here to stay, people providing the tax dollars. But when I look at this, I think of city government, and when we vote for our council people and the mayor, it's the citizens, not the business. We have the CAPC and the chamber that takes care of business. Council people, I would like to think, are there to take care of the citizens and the mayor. I'll include him with that. The plan to socially space everyone downtown, I don't know if it would work or not, but what I'm thinking about are the car washes, the gas stations. Gas stations, by the way, is the second most likely form of transmission. I'm thinking about the markets, parks, Dollar General. We're going to have people coming from all over the country, and downtown we might be able to maintain some semblance of order, but we can't do it all the way up and down 62. Just as I know the council people wouldn't go around encouraging people to poison the water with cholera. I know that council people would not approve the spraying of dangerous herbicides along our streets. And please do not let the economy drive you to permit the spread of COVID-19 among the citizens. Thank you.
Blakely Wilson will be next.
Don't we have a second mic where you can trade them, Kim?
Nope.
No, okay.
Mayor Fitchberry,
Secretary in the Eureka Springs City Council.
Into the mic, please.
My name is Blakely Wilson, Wilson Folk Art, 23 Spring Street. We have been a business and a part of this community for 27 years. One of my most difficult decisions was to close our shop March 18, 2020, due to the information from the White House, the CDC, our governor, and my concerns for the safety of my family, my customers, and the residents of Eureka Springs. You know, as a seasonal tourist town, we work all through the spring, summer, and fall, and create through the winter, awaiting the breaking of spring, so we can start all over again. This was a shutdown we all feared, and now we are all dead. Eureka Springs is and has been known as a healthy, unique, safe, secure vacation getaway for over 100 years. It's our residents that make us safe, and our businesses that offer creative stimulation, keeping our visitors returning. Please do not let Eureka Springs do anything that could change our reputation into just another Lake of the Ozarks party. Our history is too important. I believe Eureka Springs will continue to bring tourists for the historical reasons that getaway feeling, which has always filled our rooms, restaurants, shops, and entertainment spots. However, they only are going to come when they feel safe. Bringing local area residents just for a street party or parade must wait. Let's be smart and get through this without another closure. Let's make it easy as possible for our tourists so they can come, drive around, park downtown, the same as the last time they visited us. No special events. Until we have a medication to treat COVID-19 and plans to deal with any city contamination, we must keep Eureka Springs a health, safe, secure vacation getaway. We must be smart and get through this. No special events that draw large crowds to the center of our town. We must continue being known as a safe and smart community where visitors feel like they know us all and they come back again and again. Let's be smart for them all, those who want to wear face masks and those who do not. Please, no special events. Thank you for the time you give our village, and thank you for listening.
After housekeeping, Leroy Carell will be next.
Good evening, my name is Leroy Durrell, and I'm a resident of Eureka Springs and have been for 40-some years. I'd like to thank the council and the mayor for sponsoring the meeting tonight. It's my hope tonight that we see both sides of this issue come together while taking into consideration the health and well-being of the citizens of Eureka Springs and our guests. We must recognize that this is more than a fiscal issue, but rather one we must consider a truly scary health issue. An issue that will take logical negotiations to get through. It is also my hope that the city council will remember their swearing in when they raised their hand and swore a pledge to protect the safety of the citizens of Eureka Springs. This issue becomes difficult because the chamber and businesses of Eureka Springs also have pledged to make their business grow and be as profitable as possible. This is where negotiations must begin in the face of this pandemic. It's not negotiations about noise, where to park, sign size, who gets to drive a taxi and who doesn't, but rather risking the health of the citizenry that the council represents. As we know, COVID-19 is close, less than an hour away, the state's hottest spot. And as the director of the Washington Regional said, it's important to our community to understand we are not seeing more hospitalizations simply because more testing is being done. We are seeing more hospitalizations because more people in this area are being infected by the virus. Pull back on the reins. Have patience. Prepare, as this will take longer than we would like to think. Don't push so hard as to risk the health of the citizens of Eureka Springs any more than already happening, as more tourists have come in and more are coming without wearing masks. We know some businesses are already doing what may not be great business, but in many cases, at least stay alive business. And that is so much more than many other places in the country. Life as we know it is now different in the extreme, and we cannot expect things to return to normal right away. The only way we continue what we have already been given, which is phase 1 and phase 2, if we think clearly and logically, we can say that. Do what any good, logical business person would do when you face tumultuous situations that seek out the most knowledgeable people in the industry of concern. In this case, medical. Talk with them, do whatever is necessary to reduce the problem. Don't get caught in magical thinking. It's not going away, especially if we're not paying attention to CDC, regional medical personnel, the governor, the medical support team, and fortunately, our mayor. I'd like to thank the mayor for his leadership and for following the professional advice that is provided to us if we just choose to listen. I would also like to again plead with the people who have been elected and have made a sworn oath to the public to dedicate themselves to the safety of those who live in the city. Please do not lose focus on the real issue, the safety of the citizens of Eureka Springs. Wear your mask, honor social distancing, disinfect, and don't promote large gatherings of people. Thank you for your service to the community.
Steve Beecham, you'll be up next.
My name is Steve Beecham. I'm a resident of Eureka Springs. I own a business which has been in operation in Eureka since 1970. I'm also a landlord. This pandemic has really hit my business, my pocketbook. It's really affected me in probably a lot of other people in the town, sure, in a very serious way. But I'd like to say that I support the mayor not issuing event permits for events until at least September 1st. I support removing parking on Spring Street in order to create a wider walking space on our narrow sidewalks so that there's more of an opportunity for social distancing. We are open, people are coming. Attracting larger groups is not safe. This is a time to be cautious. How does increasing visitor numbers make our nursing home patients and our locals safe? Who controls, in regard to this plan, who controls the closed off areas of the streets? Are the events going to create groups that make social distancing impossible? The issue of the entertainment district, The entertainment district is to be voted on in November. Why use this pandemic to do an end run behind the voters' backs? The oath sworn by all council members is for the health and safety of our community. Again, I support the mayor in protecting the health and safety of Eureka Springs.
And Fogo, you're the next lucky person.
And Fogo, I've lived here for over 20 years. I've had a business for 17 plus. I closed in March and I've been open since. I did bring a couple of visual things, but I don't have anything to project behind. One of them was in the local paper. It says, where's Waldo? And if you look at it, it's a crowded beach and Waldo's in the center. There's space around him. He has a mask on him. When I saw that, I thought it was Eureka. That Waldo was Eureka. That's what I thought when I saw the image. It says at the bottom, of course, surrounded by idiots. The other one was also in the paper. It's a wolf town. There's the specter of death. He's sitting at a restaurant table with a cup of coffee. There's a sign that says now open. He says, oh, wait, to think I was just getting ready to leave. And so I thought these were important visuals to bring today. The other one is this one, which kind of shows what you think is happening at the top. It shows an increase. We must shut down everything here. It kind of goes over here, hill. Looks safe, time to reopen. Oh no, is this a second wave? But that's not what happened at all. It's showing we must shut down everything. It kind of leveled off a little bit. Looks safe, time to reopen. And then right up here, oh no, is this a second wave, which is the actual spike. We're not really having a spike in this county right now, but we will. Thank you.
Tina, you're next.
Can you hear me? Is that close enough? I feel like I have nothing more to say. These people have given incredible speeches, except to say ditto, ditto, ditto on all of it. And although it seems like maybe we're discouraging things, particularly anything like a Basin Park, where there's groups, it's hard enough to keep the few that are here in town apart from each other. It's hard enough to keep people apart in my shop. It's hard enough the fact that there's not a mask ordinance that is universal for this county. And so the few shopkeepers that try to do that, you know, we're like, I don't know if we're in the minority, but other people, I mean, everybody's going to do what they want in their business, but I think mask wearing is important. I also want to say, where's Jackie? Jackie. I've always been a great fan of Jackie's. She's one of the most enthusiastic, creative people I've ever known. And so, of course, she's rising to this occasion too. It may not be what we're ready for, but in no way would I ever want to discourage you. Because her heart is where it should be, and she's so imaginative. But it may not be right now until we get through this. This is serious. And so again, ditto to all the things that have been said. And thank you all for this meeting.
I believe the next name is Vance Martin. Martin?
Mr. Mayor, City Council members, the only thing I have to bring up on this is they keep talking about the businesses downtown knowing and getting with this. Well, none of us had this handout until 4 o'clock this afternoon. There were so many of us that didn't even know this was coming about until today. People were talking about closing down Spring Street, taking away the parking and going one way. What do we do with deliveries on Friday and Saturdays and Sundays? I mean, the parking down there is essential to the business. The mayor tried it one day down there, and it just turned without having the parking spots. I mean, I just think more planning needs to go in. They talk about this Zoom. Well, not all of us can do that because we have businesses to run. We can't meet during the daytime. I just think the more information needs to be put out there before anything can be done. Thank you.
Susie Bell, you'll be next.
Hi, my name is Susie Bell. I am not coming to you as a candidate. I am coming to you as the co-founder of ECHO. And it is because of my concern for the public health that I feel compelled to speak. We need to follow the CDC guidelines. And right now, because we are still increasing dramatically, then those guidelines indicate no more than groups of 10 meeting. My concern is who does the policing for the visitors if they are not showing social distancing or wearing a mask? Is that the responsibility of the shop owners? It should not be. I have driven through this town and I've been very discouraged to see so many visitors not practicing good social distancing, nor wearing masks. Now, a lot of shop owners here are self-employed, which means they may have insurance or they may not. And I can tell you that one hospitalization with coronavirus would devastate them far more than losing some income. While I empathize with those who really are trying to get business going, and I do applaud the imaginary and visionary ideas that they brought forth, I am just urging you all, in the interest of health, because I care about the health of this community. You can't recover from that if we lose people, and you will not recover if we are known as a hot spot when you come to this town. So please, let's err in the area of health for our citizens. Let's be responsible and let's be patient. Just like Dr. Fauci said, it is the virus that controls the timeline and nothing else. Thank you.
Autumn Slane, you'll be up next.
Hello, can you hear me? I'm Autumn Slane. I have Grotto downtown, right in this area that we're talking about. Our current situation, just so everybody kind of gets an idea, we have no bar seats, 6 foot across, or 6 foot distance between which in our restaurant is literally one row of tables, which is fine. Everyone wearing masks, and, you know, we're buying PPE every week, trying to help with that situation as far as people coming in, you know, not having masks. Basically, we're the front line, you know, shop owners, business people, we are what people are interacting with, and we are what people are gravitating towards for the rules. Right now, I feel like the street closure seems like an awesome idea. We get more room, we would get more social distancing in the street. It's definitely something that I feel like needs to be talked about quite a bit, because like many have said, it changed the whole dynamic down here. But I feel like right now, why not? Let's talk about some weird stuff that maybe we wouldn't have talked about last week or 3 months ago. And, you know, even the entertainment district, I know that the residents have fought us super hard on this. But I know I would love to see some tables out on the street or out on the sidewalk, you know, that maybe I could get a few more people in. You know, and another situation that is going on with that is there's not enough restaurants even open to feed these people. So, you know, although the fireworks seem like an awesome idea, I don't know if we want more people here. I think going into some sort of sometime in the summer, that sounds great. I don't know. I would be concerned with it. But, you know, either in a few months, who knows what it'll be. I would be willing to get some of the business owners' signatures as well for the entertainment district, if that would help clear up some of the voting process. I have no idea what the rules are for that, but basically, I would love to be a part of the committee as well. I think that's really all I have. Just be cautious. There are a lot of people already coming to town, so we're already dealing with kind of a lot. And I feel like we are doing the best we absolutely can to protect the citizens, and while still trying to make a living and still try to give the city money, you know, as far as collecting taxes. We got to have the city to come back to y'all. So, thank you.
Dr. Bell, you'll be next.
I'm Dan Bell. I've had the great pleasure of practicing medicine here in Eureka for 35 years. I just want to talk about some of the medical issues related to the decision. The week after Memorial Day, we got 100 tests and went around Eureka, primarily with Dr. Presley and John Hutchcroft and Susan and I tested 100 people. Only 2 were positive. They were asymptomatic, did not know they had the virus. That was May 27th. There were only 15 in the county then. Today, there are 88 in the county. I don't know exactly where they are. They're not all here, of course. But, you know, the virus is here now, y'all. I think most of y'all know there's 2 restaurants now that just closed because one of their staff has tested positive, and they're doing contact tracing with them. Also, I understand the county offices are closed today. The judge decided to close the county offices. So the virus is here. If you will look at the CDC website, it has a projection for Arkansas. They looked at 18 models. These are the Harvard models, the UCLA models, all the different models. Some are high, some are low. But if they average them, we're still going to be on an upslope from where we are now in July. So I think that needs to be sort of clear that this is not going to go away with hot weather like some people thought. Look at Arizona, pretty hot out there, and they're spiking like crazy. So the COVID virus doesn't seem to be concerned with the hot weather. So we're gonna be where we are now, plus maybe another 50% higher in July. It's not gonna tail off all the way through September. So be thinking in terms of the fact that there's plenty of virus out there. And so if we found 2 out of 100, back May 27th, probably at least 3 out of 100 people walking the streets are going to be asymptomatic carriers. So you can actually start doing some math. For every 2,000 people that come in and visit us, about 1 person's going to die. So we don't want to promote more people to come into Eureka right now. We don't want special events that would bring more people in. What we should be focusing on is making our little community safer. There's some very good ideas in what this group has looked at. And so we should glean through there and use the ideas that get people apart from each other and make it safer. Because y'all can see who are coming here. People have pent up energy. They want to get out. They're fatigued with all this social distancing. They're not wearing a mask. They're active. They won't come here in a celebratory way. So we should do our very best to protect them and not do any sort of special event that draws anything forward.
Be rude.
So Dee Rude, thanks Mayor, thanks Council. Thanks everybody for being here. I learned a lot of great comments. Kent, Jackie, really appreciate what you've done. Just following a couple of things. 15 cases 3 weeks ago in Carroll County, 88 today. I mean, we're going to be at over 200 by July 4th. And who knows where it's going to stop. And certainly, no distancing, no mask to our tourists aren't going to help at it. All right, so it's going to be a long slog. That said, I like what they've done here because the best thing you can do is be prepared for when the day does come. So that when the day does come, we're not thinking about it, we're doing it. Okay? So the day will come, okay, when it is time to go full court for the community, for the businesses, for recreation, for people to celebrate. And what a better place than Eureka to do it. So I commend you for that, and don't give up on it. Get a plan in place. The council be part of it, chamber be part of it, downtown network be part of it. We can't drop the ball when the opportunity strikes. But now it's not the time. Now is not the time. Also, I want to blatantly add a good comment, which is people have come here for over 100 years because it's healthy. All right. I think there's some real magic there, people. I mean, you want an opening slogan, think about it a year down the road when America has had 500,000 people die. Okay? And they've shut down how many times? Think about what your grief would mean to them. How about guaranteed safest place to get out in America today? Okay? But that's going to take everybody doing this. Right? If we all wore a mask, everybody, for 2 weeks, and we were out, this thing would go away, is what a lot of leading medical people are saying. Maybe take it 3 weeks or 4 weeks, but key is, if we had that, we wouldn't be dealing with this so long. Unfortunately, people are people. It's not comfortable to wear a mask all the time, right? You want to go out and have fun. So that's the only thoughts I really have is get ready to strike. It's good to have collective involvement in this, but now it's not the time. And then think about what magic could happen with the right kind of marketing, promotion, et cetera, to welcome people to town and have 5 times the visitors we ever had. Okay? Thank you.
The last person is Jeff Dennis.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jeff Danos. For those of you that don't know me, I'm one of the organizers of the Zombie Crawl, one of the largest events in Eureka. I also have a mobile DJ business, and of course, since the pandemic started, I have about zero business right now. So it's very tough times for me, and I do want to thank the mayor and the city council for what you guys have done to protect us so far. We rely on you, and we really appreciate that you have our health and our community at heart. This is a really difficult situation for me, a difficult position, because at any other time, I love everything that's in this plan. It's stuff that you can ask him. We talk about this. These are like amazing ideas. The DJ with bubbles that was on the plan, and we were going to do that for diversity. That was the thing. And so it's very difficult for me to not just be gung ho on this, because that's like part of my dream. That's one of my ideas. I want to get that out there. That being said, it's very difficult for me. We just, in case you hadn't heard, we did cancel the Zombie Crawl for this year. And the Zombie Crawl doesn't happen until October, and I've gotten some pushback on that because, hey, that's so far out. How could you cancel it already? And of course, there's a myriad of reasons for that, but ultimately, we determined that we could not organize that and fund it and make it safe. And if we can't do those three things, properly, then we're just not going to try. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to risk it. And so one of the things that we looked at with our event was, all these groups of people on Spring Street. And obviously, social distancing and masks are the way to go. Now, in October, who knows? They may not be there. But I don't have time to, change gears in September and suddenly throw together an event. So like for this one, my question would be, on Spring Street, there was a rendering on there, which is something that I've actually played around with, this idea of, having half of the street, closed off and having trolleys going up and down and drop people off wherever they want. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great way to take care of our sidewalk problem. Instead of pointing fingers at who has to fix the sidewalks. Not to mention just getting people walking and, get rid of the noise problem. Everyone complains about the motorcycles and the noise. Well, guess what? If everybody's walking, then you're not pointing fingers at a group. So I think that's a great idea. And again, like Dee said, it really needs to be looked at further and addressed. But in our current situation, with that rendering that they had up there, I tried to count, and I think there were less than 20 people in that rendering looking up down the block. Now, for an event like what they're talking about, you're going to have a lot more than 20 people. And you can put borders around the park, Basin Park, in certain areas, but I don't know how you do that with the street. That's what we ran into with the Zombie Crawl. It's like, well, how would we enforce people to social distance? How would we enforce, get people to wear a mask? Do we have to put policemen at the edge of every street and at the edge of every stair step and, try to force them to do that? I don't know how you do that. And I feel like, I don't even know if that's the message that we want to push against people anyway, that, well, if you want to come in this zone, you have to do this. So I guess, like I said, it's difficult for me because, if this doesn't go through, obviously, I'm not going to be the guy that's doing that DJ every Friday with the bubbles, okay? But at the same time, I have to think about the community, and I have to think about, as an event planner, how would I do that? How would I enforce that? Maybe there's a way to do that. Maybe they can do that. I don't know, but that's something that definitely needs to be talked about. And then, I will comment. I don't really have an opinion right now on the entertainment district thing, but I do say that, if the citizens put it up to vote, then it needs to be voted on. That is, we got to go with, what the citizens say. I don't think that you can kind of go around it right now. And who knows? If it goes to vote, maybe the citizens will decide that that is something that they want. So I guess, like I said, it's a very difficult position. I love Jackie. We work a lot. And I right there, and Kent, I've talked to you a few times as well, and I appreciate what you guys do up there. It's very hard for me to get behind something like this right now. And again, I haven't had enough time to look at it because, like everybody else, I did go today. But those are some of the things that I want to be looking at. And like there was a creative graphic up on there too towards the end. I'd like to see something about masks and social distancing on creatives too, because otherwise you're advertising something and then people arrive and it's like, oh, you need a mask. Anyway, thank you, appreciate it.
That concludes the public comments, I believe. And I want to thank everybody for coming in and voicing your concerns and your comments. I think right now we'll go back down and have final comments from City Council. I'll start with Mr. Thomas at that end and work our way up. Mr. Thomas left? Okay. Ms. Green?
Well, first I want to thank Jackie and Kent. That was a great presentation, and in normal times, I would be jumping all over this. I mean, they're fantastic ideas, but this isn't normal times. I was elected for the health, the safety, and the welfare of this town, and that's what I'm thinking about right now. I'm a business owner, and I know how I've struggled. I know the drastic steps I've had to take to save my business and my homes and stuff. So, Jeff, I feel for you. I feel for the Slanes up there. I know how hard they're working. And we are open. We have people coming. And I remember in March, I was at 0. Now I'm at about 60%. And what I worry about is going back to 0, because maybe this time, I mean, it hasn't helped me a lot, but there might not be the government money to help us. And so what are we going to do? So I'm just saying, let's take this slow. No events, because we can't police the people. We can't keep them apart. I drive through town and there's no mask and I see people together. And these people aren't trying to hurt us. They just don't get it to some extent. And you look at the pictures of the kids out at the beach and they're standing right on top of each other. We just can't, to me, encourage this to happen because it's our safety for our people. Let's just stay with which is recommended, our governor's recommended. We've gone from stage 1 to stage 2. And let's just hope that that's enough to keep us afloat and bring us the tax money and that we don't get closed down again, because if we're closed down again, we're right back to where we were and we don't want to be there.
Ms. Snyder?
First, I have a question for Jackie. Looking at all the paperwork and having gone through it at home and stuff, I'm not seeing anybody from the Heart of Eureka Springs group. Where are they? Were they not included in this?
So I represent Main Street Eureka Springs.
Right.
I'm not sure why you're asking me about that.
I'm asking you guys because you're the steering committee and I thought this was supposed to be for like all businesses.
So they were invited. I will tell you that they were personally invited. And I have that list if you want to see it. I have.
No, I'm just wondering how come they aren't included, because that's the biggest. Okay, I will take that to mean then that they're against what you were doing.
What?
I said, do I take that as meaning they don't agree with what y'all were trying to do or when or something?
No, they didn't want to be involved at the very beginning. They had no idea.
Oh, okay. Well, I was looking, just wondering.
There you go.
Okay. Well, out of 28 people in the audience, 13 came to the mic. Of the 13, 12 are totally against this being done, any of this, at this time. That says a lot for our town. I've already made it real clear how the locals feel in regards to trying to sneak in, and that's what it is, like it or not, the entertainment district. City Council, Mayor's Office, we have all gotten a lot of emails from the people of the town. I personally have gotten even more than they have in phone calls. 100% of all emails and phone calls are against this 6-week thing and the entertainment district. 100%. So Jackie, there's your 100%. I'm serious. In 46 years, this was the first time I've ever seen 100% on anything. And while no, it's not everybody, it was many, many, many dozens of contacts that I personally got. So that in itself also says a lot. And, oh, and I wanted to make a statement, by the way, the coffee you see me drink, I had very high pollen allergies. And have been for a couple of months now. Timing is perfect. So now I'm not sick. I just have pollen. Oh, perfect timing. Our number one oath is protection of the people. And I keep saying it and keep reminding, that's our number one oath. The health and well-being of our residents. And by God, that's number one, and that's what we do. You can lose the business and start over, which I personally have done. You cannot die and start over. My daughter-in-law's aunt just died Sunday from the virus. She wasn't that much older than me. This is not cool. She had not even gotten a chance to meet my youngest grandchild. Take care of the people first. Screw the pocketbook, screw the buddies, take care of the people. That's what it comes down to.
Mr. Meyer?
Well, you said a lot there, and also, it's a great plan. It's just not the right time. We don't know when the right time will be, because as Dr. Bell said, you look at the statistics and what's happening, it's going to be a lot worse in just a couple of weeks. So we need to keep an eye on the health of the people and watch how this virus develops before we can even set a possible date on entertaining something like this.
Ms. Harmon?
Yeah, I've already said my piece as far as what parts of the plan I do like. I again want to support our businesses in their efforts throughout this presentation. I think it was a great presentation. I do think that there are elements that we do need to pay attention to. The open and safe streets, that seems to be an issue that everyone here spoke about tonight. Social distancing, masks and whatnot. So to say that we will scrap the entire presentation, I think that is a mistake. I think there are opportunities for us to make our community safer while at the same time supporting our businesses. So it is a discussion that we're having. I do appreciate the individuals who did come in from the steering committee, Jackie and Kent, for coming in and presenting this information. I think these types of meetings are important for our citizens. If we didn't have them, would you know what was in the plan? You may hear things from one person to the next, but that interpretation isn't always what is really there. So I'm very pleased that you were able to present the information to clear up any questions or any concerns that individuals have. Again, we're not going to agree on every single thing, but it is the duty of city council, I think, in this situation during this virus, to at least present this information and to make it very clear as to what the ideas are out there, so that rumors don't turn into something that's an untruth. So I do appreciate that information being out there, and I do appreciate everyone that did come and everyone that spoke tonight for being here.
Mr. McCrum?
I spoke with a citizen this morning, and he said to me, he said, I spoke with a businessman, and this businessman told me that this 6 weeks thing is all about the mayor trying to initiate a hidden tax. I said, what? That's absolutely ridiculous. And I said, the mayor doesn't even really know what the thing's about. You know, that's just how things get twisted in our little town, and that's sad, because having an open mind and listening to things of this nature is important. I think it's important, and I'm very pleased and proud of those that were involved. To get a group that size together for input is huge in this town. And to break it down and have it where it's down to even 30 in the lesser group is still pretty amazing. And what they came up with is, it's good, and it's a floating plan. It's it's a living thing, I think, and so I think we need to keep it on the table. I think it needs to be looked at. I mean, the council people, as well as others in the audience here this evening, have endorsed it or pleased with it. They think the timing is not right, and I can't argue a lot of that with what's happened this last week. Oops. However, it just is what it is.
Terry, put it back on. We made him put it on, put it back on.
Wait till we get home, Mom.
Yeah, I'm waiting. Got that paddle ready.
So, anyway, I would like to encourage the mayor, because I think it would be good for all of us. I would like to encourage the mayor on his own volition to maybe bring a resolution to the next meeting, if the timing is still workable for the fireworks on the 4th, where it could be put on the agenda. It's something that we could vote on and pass a resolution. And I'd also like to have this added on the agenda for discussion, so we can speak to some of these things a little bit more, and so we can keep it alive for down the road. So we may be able, so we can be ready to ease into these things as time allows, and as things get better. And I like to be positive and think that they will get better. I think it's important that for our city that we always maintain a proactive outlook and to try and be prepared. And I appreciate everybody being here, and the mayor and all the council people as well. Thank you.
Well, I want to thank everybody for coming out and voicing your opinion. I think it's important for us to hear the citizens' comments and their thoughts. Also want to thank the group for making their presentation, because I think we do need to be prepared for the future and to be ready to have activities. And it was a great presentation, I have to admit. It's some great renderings, and it looked like created some excitement that's downtown. Although I think we've got quite a bit of excitement going on right now. It's just trying to keep us wearing masks around town. It's enough of an activity. But I do think it's important for us to keep an open mind, as Mr. McClung said. And I think there's some good things and some bad things, and maybe not bad, maybe some things that should this isn't the right time for. I don't know. But this is something the council would look at in the future. I'm sure we'll bring up because they're known to bring things to my attention one way or the other. So I'm sure this is the end of hearing everything. But at this point in time, I do want to appreciate everybody to come out. And with that, I'll hear a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Thanks, sir. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Opposed? Thank y'all.
Thank you again, I apologize. And I'm
I'm much more familiar with government regulations on, presenters and that type of thing, but you guys are your own body, so I respect your rules, and I'm sorry. Absolutely. Thank you, Ms. Green. Appreciate it. Okay, all you have to do is. But we want to do what's right. It was 2 weeks ago. Let's not.
I feel very careful.
I'll make sure to do that tomorrow. And that Monday, that happens. Okay. I think that'll be workable with our company. The fact is that you guys come back and say, hey, that's what we're doing. Whether or not they'll.
Did you guys
I am not.
Yeah, so he'll be.
What do you mean? Nobody.
Like, nobody has come to the fire department. They're cutting that area, without clearing that area, without staffing that area, without putting a pump truck and fire truck there. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you need to visit with them and get your line out.
Yes, sir. And then ultimately, another 5 weeks, you guys would say September, we'll look at this on a filing month basis.
What's that? Oh, yeah, I'm gonna have to put windscreens on those, even though
I forgot to turn this off.
okay, go ahead. You want to go ahead and go through the set